Late last year, President Trump signed a massive tax overhaul into law. Now, normally, those tax breaks would automatically be adopted at the state level, too. But in this last legislative session, Oregon narrowly passed a law that stops many kinds of business owners from getting those tax breaks on their state taxes. It was a hotly debated topic, and not all Democrats agreed with the plan. The bill is now sitting on Kate Brown's desk, waiting for her signature. And that is the topic of tonight's Left Hook, Right Jab. And we welcome back to the studio KXL's Lars Larson and former Portland City Commissioner Steve Novick. Welcome, gentlemen. Before we get to your question, we want to remind our viewers that now is the time that you can weigh in. You get to vote on who you think is winning the debate, Lars or Steve. All you have to do is go to kgw.com/vote or go to the KGW News app and click on Vote Now. All right, here is your question. Should Governor Brown sign the bill and block the tax break for many business owners, or should she veto it and extend the same federal tax breaks in Oregon? And Steve, you're up first this time.
The question here is, should a partner in a law firm who makes $300,000 a year be able to avoid taxes on $60,000 of that income? That's what happens if this tax break goes through. This is a tax break for the owners of several different kinds of businesses: partnerships, S-corps, LLCs. And Lars, you're going to say this is all about small business, but some of these businesses are pretty big, and certainly a bunch of these owners are pretty rich. In fact, more than half of the money from this tax break will go to people who make over $200,000 a year, and 80% of it, $4 out of 5, will go to people who make over $95,000 a year. If you wanted to do a tax break for struggling small businesses, you could. This Trump tax break is not it.
Steve, I got to tell you something. Oregon always loved being hooked to the federal tax laws when the taxes were going up. Now that they're going down, the state lawmakers say, no, we want to hang on to that money. And Steve likes to focus on the rich people. I like to point this out. This tax break affects about 70% of Oregon businesses that provide the bulk of the small business jobs that you work in. So this doesn't affect just the lawyers in downtown Portland and Eugene. It affects you, because if your boss has less money to spend on paying your paycheck, then he has less money to expand his business, less money to pay bonuses and everything else. Kate Brown has a real problem, and I know why she's hesitating about whether to veto, which is what she should do, or to sign the bill into effect. If she vetoes the bill, she might just get reelected in November. If she doesn't do that, if she signs the bill and takes $1 billion out of small businesses' pockets over the next 3 years, then she might just get unelected from office, and that wouldn't be a bad result either.
Business owners don't pay taxes on the wages they pay their employees. So if they want to reduce their tax bill, they can just hire more people. This is about a tax break on the cash that goes into the business owners' pockets. And by the way, the state of Kansas tried exactly this. In fact, they had an even bigger tax cut for these kind of businesses a few years ago. It did nothing for their economy. In fact, they've had worse job growth than similar states like Nebraska. By the way, 90% of Oregon income tax money goes to education, healthcare, and public safety. So if you're for this tax break, that means you think that people who make over $200,000 a year need the money more than our schools do.
You know, Steve, you're the only guy, or people like you, who believe that raising taxes is the route to prosperity. A smart man once said that doing that is like standing in a bucket and trying to lift yourself up by the bail. The fact is, when you put more money back in the pockets of citizens and business owners, you get more jobs, you get more economic activity. Hand it to the state, they'll probably do what they did with that phone system they just bought for $46 million. You know, Steve, the one that doesn't work. Who do you think spends those dollars better, you or Kate Brown? I vote for you, and I think you should vote for lower taxes.
Well, somebody has to pay taxes for schools and other things that you agree we should have, Lars. And the question is, should we have a big tax break for a business owner, for a guy who owns a restaurant, that the waitress who works at the restaurant doesn't get?
Vote for lower taxes. I got my last second.
You did. And it looks like Lars wins this time. Congratulations, but it was a great debate. We'll see you next week for Left Hook, Right Jab. Tracy, back to you.